Let's look at Unit 6, Part 2, Factoring. Here's a review from Algebra 1. 10D. Rewrite polynomial expressions of degree 1 and degree 2 in equivalent forms using the distributive property. Factor the common factor out of each expression. Let's look at number 4. Negative 54v to the fourth power plus 24v to the second power minus 48v. So what you want to do is find the greatest common factor of these three numbers, negative 54, 24, and negative 48. So we want to take out the sign of the first number, so that's negative. All three of these numbers can be divided by 6 evenly. All three of these have a v, so let's go ahead and write v right here. To guess what's left on the inside, we're going to divide each of those terms by negative 6v. So negative 54v to the fourth divided by negative 6v is 9v to the third power. And then we have minus 4v plus 8. And that would be our GCF. And for these problems on the first four, that's all you would have to do. You don't have to factor it any further. Let's look at number 10. So we have 10e factor if possible trinomials with real factors in the form ax squared plus bx plus c, including perfect square trinomials of degree 2. So on number 10 we have 3v squared plus 13v minus 30. There's no common factor you can factor out, so let's go ahead and identify our a, b, and c. A is going to be 3, b is 13, and then c is negative 30. Draw x. At the top of the x, we're going to have a times c, negative 90. Down here we have b, which is 13. We're going to find two numbers that multiply to give you negative 90 and add to get 13. If you're not sure what those are, you can list those out. Factors of negative 90. So we have 1 and 90, 2 and 45, 3 and 30, 5 and 18, 6 and 15, 7 doesn't go in there evenly, 8 doesn't go in there evenly, and then we have 9 and 10. So then we're going to find the differences, the sums, and it should be 13. So 90 minus 1 is 89. That's not what we want. 45 minus 2, 43. 30 minus 3, that would be 27. We have 13, 9, and 1. So the ones that would work is 18 and negative 5. So plus 18 and minus 5. So from here we're going to write out our factors. We have v plus 18 and v minus 5. Now remember, we multiplied a times c at the beginning. So now to get that a back to where it should be, we're going to divide it out. We're going to divide by a. 18 divided by 3 is 6. And then 5 divided by 3 would have a remainder. It doesn't simplify. So we take that 3 and we slide it to the front. 3v minus 5. And these would be your factors. Now let's look at 10f from Algebra 1. Decide if a binomial could be written as the difference of two squares and, if possible, use the structure of a difference of two squares to rewrite the binomial. So we have 4m squared minus 16. So first we want to recall the difference of squares formula. So we have a squared minus b squared equals a minus b times a plus b. To find a and b, we just take the square root of the first and second terms. So a squared would equal 4m squared. So that means a would equal the square root of 4, which is 2, and the square root of m squared, which is m to the first power. B squared would be 16, and so b would be 4. So then we just plug it into the formula. So we have 2m plus 4 times 2m minus 4. Notice we could also factor out something here first. So it'd also be acceptable to put this as your answer. 4 parentheses m plus 2 and m minus 2. Let's look at number 14, 12x squared minus 3y squared. We can factor out a 3, so we have 4x squared minus y squared. And then we'll factor the inside. A squared would be 4x squared, so a would be 2x. B squared is y squared, and so b would equal y. Plug it into the formula. You have 3 on the outside, 2x minus y times 2x plus y. And this would be your factored form. And then number 16, we have 64p to the 4th power minus 36. Looks like we could take out a 4. 64 divided by 4 is 16, p to the 4th, and minus 9. So from there, we have a squared equals 16p to the 4th, so a would have to equal, and so a would be 4p to the 2nd power. B squared would be 9, so b would equal 3. Square root of 9 is 3. So when we plug it into the formula, we get 4 parentheses 4p squared minus 3 and 4p squared plus 3. And those would be our factors.